Hello, welcome to Star Code Cipher. We read the cards here. And for this reading, we're going to be using the Cosmic Reading cards and the Light Seers Tarot. So let's see what the overall theme is going to be. And for that, we are going to use the Cosmic Reading cards. These are really... Let me see if maybe I can do it better this way. These are very large cards. It's a smaller deck for oracle cards, but I think really pretty. And Shadow Self. Yeah, very pretty and very to the point. Alrighty, so the topic for this reading is going to revolve around our shadow self, which is actually quite appropriate for this deck, for the Light Seers Tarot, because the point to doing shadow work is to get ourselves in harmony with that aspect of ourselves so that we can weave light into it. We're never going to obliterate, if you will, our shadow sides. We need our shadow sides. Our shadow sides can be useful to us. It's the part of our instincts, if you will, that warns us of danger, that's a little bit more in tune to that, to those energies. And it's good to... once you master your own shadow self, it's a good tool to have. You can wield it for good. And it's very complicated, yes, but you can get there with work. What I'm going to do is, since that's such a deep subject, I'm going to grab the book and let me see what it has to say about that. Just a quick read before I even start shuffling and reading the cards, because it is something that, you know, it's a deep spiritual thing. And the book says, unless you learn to face your shadows, you will continue to see them in others, because the world outside you is only a reflection of the world inside you. And that was said by Anonymous. And I think that little blurb right there is kind of everything that we can imagine dealing with shadow self is something that scares us. We don't perfectly understand it, or we won't understand it, or refuse to understand it at first until we change our frame of mind about it. All right, well, that's what I think. We'll see what the cards have to say as far as the topic goes. Like, this isn't about me, this is about you guys. And we're starting out with the Six of Swords. Alrighty, let me shuffle this a little bit better. And we'll take the sixth card in the deck. See what crosses that. And it is being crossed by the Knight of Pentacles, which is the second court card. The Hierophant is underneath this, which is the fifth card. And then we have another five, the Five of Swords. The Seven, a Chariot, which is 7, 4, 5, 6, above all of this is the Ten of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles. Queen of Swords. This Queen of Swords is appearing in this one a lot, and in that spot a lot in many of my readings. She is the third court card. Nine of Swords. Alrighty, folks. Okay, so how are we dealing with the shadow self right now? We're starting out with the Six of Swords. To whom it may concern, this Six of Swords is already on its way. But here's what's different about this card in particular that we see in other decks. This Six of Swords to me is actually sailing towards troubled waters. That's what it looks like to me. If you look at this card right here, we see a little bit more peaceful over there, and we still see some troubled waters in the direction in which the boat is moving. Now we're heading into shore, which is more of solid ground. The Knight of Pentacles tells me that, yeah, we're going to be heading onto solid ground very soon from this very turbulent and tumultuous situation that we're in. It's very heavy, not just on our souls, but particularly on our minds. And that, coming from that state, is very difficult to navigate. I want to caution to whom it may concern. At the root of this is the Hierophant. This card talks about traditions, and sometimes those traditions are rigid, right? Rigid to the point where you cannot breathe. Where if you step out of any of the lines, it can sometimes cost you your friends and families, right? Because you're not following the rule books as you should. Now, especially when it comes to organized religions, if you happen to be a member, there's a member of any one of them, especially high controlled religions, coloring outside the lines is not just frowned upon. It can be dangerous. It could cost you. Here we have the Six of Pentacles, and the Ten of Pentacles. It could cost you a lot of your friends and family. There's some of these high controlled religions practice shunning, and sometimes you don't even know it's happening to you. You're being shunned. You kind of get you got kind of get a sense that people are avoiding you, but you're not yet recognizing it as the proper shunning that people are practicing towards you. When you do realize that that's happening, it can be very, very traumatic. And here in the Five of Swords, this is what is known. Six of Swords and Five of Swords, okay? These are very difficult emotional states where you're dealing with people that adhere to the rules to such a way where you can't really connect with them. You are heading in a very different direction, as seen here by the Chariot, that you are heading in a completely different direction that's going to leave both you and those you know in the state of Nine of Swords. It's going to be problematic. It really is. But it may be necessary. This is what your column and where you're at right now. This is what's above you. The things that are that you want your life to be. It may be that this is how it is for you right now, this energy of like this happiness that you've cultivated with those around you, that you are the thing about the Ten of Pentacles is that sometimes this is an illusion. This is a false family. Everybody's all smiles. There's a lot of bearing of like really happy teeth. And it's fake. That's the problem. It's a pretense. And that gets exhausting, right? We're seeing it here, and it's calling to you to pull away from everything in your life that is false. That's hard to do, especially when the root of that falsehood is sanctified, you know, like made holy. It has its roots in the religion, in the cult, if you will, in those traditions that just may not be working for you anymore. And you're going to have to learn some way. You're going to need to get yourself to a place where you have space to start growing your own. Okay, we have the Six of Pentacles here, and we have the Ace of Pentacles here. Now, watch carefully for the Queen of Swords and how she's looking away from all of this. Okay, this is where you really do need to be in a headspace where you can bring these things together to such a way where your shadow self, those darker things, those heavy things, aren't weighing you down to the point where you can't get to anywhere. This looks really grim over here, but it looks positive over here. There are people also that you might not have realized have managed to bring themselves to these safer shores where they have planted a whole new set of traditions that don't actually depart from what you're accustomed to. They're simply been transformed. They can give you a whole new set of seeds to plant in a whole new earth or terrain or ground for you to put your feet on. It's going to take time. The Knight of Pentacles is a very methodical creature. Let's put it that way. The Knight of Pentacles does things slowly. They know how to bargain. They're mercenaries, if you will. They're opportunists, and in this case could be a good thing. Take the help that is offered to you to get out of this situation. Do not be afraid. Right now, the situation is more of a shadow on you than your own doubts and fears, okay? They're connected, but you can get out of this. You can make this pretense actually be a real thing if you transform how you go about planting a new tradition for yourself. You're not going to be alone in it, for sure. This right here is both the falsehood, the pretense that you're moving away from, and the reality. If you plant things correctly, if you accept the help that's being offered to help you get out of this darkness, it can also represent where you're going, where it's actually genuine, where the people and the friends that are around you are true friends and not friends with conditions. You understand? They're not with you because you're towing the line. Okay? They've got your back regardless. Those are the friends that you really want to have in your life, not the ones that are pretending to be your friends for the sake of approval of an authority that may not be legit. Sometimes our shadow selves is when it starts to act up. When our shadow selves start to act up and start to give us this kind of problem, it's a warning. They're not so much an enemy. Your shadow side isn't so much your enemy as it is someone who is trying to warn you. You need to change the way you relate to yourself in this situation. That would be my advice for this, so that you can get to here, to have a whole new perspective to work with. But you need help and guidance away from this. Don't be afraid. It may seem like you're moving in two different directions, right? But you can carry with you the good parts of the tradition you started out with into this new mode of living. And those things that are positive can, they're legit. They'll survive. And those are the things you really want in your life. But you want to have it with people who are genuine, not people who are false and forcing you to go along with this pretense of happiness, when actual real happiness is just you having the courage to get out of this situation. Accept the help that is given to you. It may seem like there's no one else, but that's not true. There is a whole other life waiting for you, with whole other people willing to give you a hand. You just have the courage. You just need to get the courage to get on that boat, pack up your bag, get on that boat and leave, so to speak, metaphorically speaking. You understand? Head towards something that leaves you with true blue skies versus this pretense. There are people here on this side that are genuine versus the people on this side, which are putting you in this state because they are not genuine, and their expectations of you following, towing the same line as them, it may not work for you. I mean, you have to ask, what is the cost? What is the cost of the pretense of following things that you know in your heart are making your shadow self constantly present? We do have to transform our shadow selves, but there's a danger of the shadow self taking full control and driving the car right off the rails. We don't want that. You don't need that. There's a way to get to here. Only you know what that is. And again, it's going to take time. It's one step at a time. One step at a time. One step at a time. Okay? Every step that you take towards getting into that boat to get you out of those troubled waters, you're still going to have to go through the troubled waters. It's not going to be smooth sailing. All right? It just isn't. But you are going to get to the shore, and you are going to be able to start putting down your own roots, your own rules, establishing your own traditions. Once you accept that you have the power to do it, one, that your needs and wants are legit, and that there are people that can help you. Don't listen to those who are demonizing the people that can help you. Okay? No one is an island. No one can do it alone. You have a lot to offer to people who are just out of reach, right? Their hands reach away from you. You have a lot to offer to them. Believe in that. Let that be the thing that you bring forward. You don't have to be perfect. Your shadow, this shadow side is starting to believe the lies, okay? And it's making sure that you believe the lies and your expectation because of what you've learned, that you always have to be perfect, that you always have to be smiling, that you always have to be accommodating. This is not even human, okay? It's just not even human. It's actually quite cruel to have these unreasonable expectations upon you. All right, you don't have to, just bring yourself. Just bring yourself, warts and all. All right, and smile. Smile, be happy for yourself, for your own sake. You don't need to be happy for others all the time. I hope I'm kind of, I know it's like I'm rambling a little bit, but listen, there are others who will give you a hand. There are others who see what you have to offer. And there are others waiting for you to swoop in and join that collective, okay? There's space for you there. There's room for you there. You don't have to be boggled down. Your shadow self does not have to remain the way it is. It's only activated because of this right here, because you're just too afraid. And that's okay. You're too afraid to break away from this falsehood. Because it may be all that you've ever known. And again, that's fine. It's okay, one step at a time. But you got to take that first step. If you don't take that first step, you're never going to get here. And it's important because existing like this is untenable. It's hard. It's difficult. The Ace of Wands is at the bottom of this. Take a look. Look at the difference, or the similarities, if you will, of what it's calling you to do. Versus it taking over, you can be the light that helps your own shadow self transform. But you have to accept that. And you may need to take some time by yourself. Here we have underneath the other pile is the Hermit. This is a beautiful Hermit, by the way. You may have to put yourself above all of this. And looking at this Hermit along with the Hierophant is you may have to find a way to get to that light, to that own inner light. There are things in your tradition that can help you do that. You don't have to throw out the baby with the bathwater, but you do need to throw out the bathwater because it's already dirty. Okay, look at this over here. That bathwater, we're done. Now you want to come out a clean baby. You want to step out of that tub and come out a clean baby and have all of these blue skies and be able to think how you want to think, dress how you want to dress, talk to whoever you want to talk to, and have those skies as blue as they can possibly be, so that your mind, your soul can soar and be in it, along with with people who are actually genuine versus pretending. Yeah, the pretense is a heavy one, and we want to get out of that. All right, darlings, that's it. That's the message for this. Let me know if this resonated with you in any way. Like, subscribe, do all of the things. And also stay safe while you're out doing your good in the world. Be happy, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.